Hello, I am Mac, at least for a day. This is a No Man's Sky YouTuber interview. This is a guy that I first noticed his channel when the Waking Titan ARG started, and he was doing a lot of coverage of Waking Titan. In addition to, I believe he did No Man's Sky before that as well. His YouTube name is Seroka4You. Are you there?
Yes, I am. How's it going, Mac?
Great. So, tell us about your channel. What kind of videos do you do?
Well, when I started my YouTube channel, I basically wanted to do coverage on the latest games and give reviews. And then No Man's Sky come out, and that kind of just destroyed. Well, it didn't destroy it. I just started focusing on No Man's Sky about 3 months after it come out, and it's basically just taken over the channel.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't start my channel until I became obsessed with No Man's Sky, so my channel has always just been about No Man's Sky, so I know what it's like to get obsessed with it. So what did you think of Waking Titan Phase 1?
Waking Titan Phase 1, I believe, I want to say that Waking Titan was our first preliminary test to Phase 2. And the only reason I want to say that is because we were just getting the understanding of Waking Titan and going through the paces with finding clues or just different things that dealt with the ARG in general. So yep. I think Phase 2 is more or less they're not going to hold our hands.
Well, hold on. We'll get to Phase 2 in a second. But
okay.
The way you're explaining it is kind of from a narrative's perspective, because that's what Elizabeth Lighton said, that
right.
It was all a test to like gather individuals for their thought experiment and all that. I was kind of asking about that, but also from like a real world perspective, like from Hello Games' perspective, what was their main purpose of doing this ARG, and based on what we saw in the first phase, obviously alternate reality games are usually used as a kind of viral marketing campaign,
right.
But there's been quite a bit of debate, because of course we know No Man's Sky has had a bad history with people getting too hyped up about it, and
yes.
And a lot of people have been saying, why are they doing this? Because, hype got them last time. And so what do you think about that?
I think they're trying to put a different perspective on the game itself. Yeah, when No Man's Sky come out, it was like over glorified for what we were given, what we paid for. But I think the main reason behind Waking Titan for Hello Games was not only to bring back old players that might have given up on it, but to kind of breathe new life into the past two updates. Possibly for them to get a general idea of how many people were interested in No Man's Sky at the release, to now after we've had the Foundation and Pathfinder update, what type of new audience has come about or has actually come back. And then the whole ARG Waking Titan, Project Waking Titan, was to gauge where they lie with their gaming audience. And I mean, I want to say that they're trying to get a feel for how many people are interested in the game still, and possibly see what type of audience or a bigger audience they can actually draw from the ARG.
Yeah, that's the three main points that you listed were like the three main things that I was thinking of. The last thing you said, that to gauge it, I mean, we could see that because a lot of the PDF documents were basically detailing how many people were involved. I believe the first PDF said something like success will hinge on the inclusion of new people in each of the active phases. So at the beginning they were saying that they're basically revealing that they were trying to recruit more people for this project. And then at the end of phase 1, we got the PDF from Sean Murray, and it said like the number of replies and the number of countries involved and so on.
Yep.
So it was kind of like phase 1 was all about, getting all these people included. And of course that is most likely the main purpose, was of course to get more people interested and kind of get back the player base that they lost from their rocky launch of No Man's Sky. And the other one you said, which I also agree, was kind of reframing what No Man's Sky is about, because until now there's lore in the game, but we didn't really understand all of it. Like, we didn't know if it was saying that the game is just a simulated universe that Hello Games made and that's all it's about. But now they're kind of bringing in this other kind of storyline that, like, maybe a fictional organization like the Atlas Foundation actually made the simulation, and it may have more of a purpose than just being a game for people to wander around in. So
definitely.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. So on to phase 2. What do you think? Obviously, we have no idea what exactly they're going to do in phase 2, but what do you think phase 2 is going to involve?
Well, I think I might actually have some possible development on phase 2. I think phase 2 is more or less, they want to see from phase 1 what we learned from phase 1. Is there anything that we're going to pick up on our own? Because I know the last message Elizabeth had was talking about there's going to be like individual objectives, and then there will be community objectives. So I think this time around they really want to see if what I'm trying to say is they want to see how far you're going to take it, and if you're really interested in the ARG and No Man's Sky. And if you are, I think they're hoping with whatever comes next on July 21st that when we know that knowledge, they're more or less expecting us to come together and let's see, we're more or less going to come together and figure out what we can either decipher or come across. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to hold our hand this time like they kind of did, walking us through the first phase. The second phase is, I think it's going to be more or less, if you're into No Man's Sky and you're part of the community, show us in one way or another how you can come across either information, clues, things of that nature.
What I'm asking is, what do you think, how and where do you think the puzzles are going to be done? Because most of phase 1 was involved in websites and real life events and radio broadcasts, all that were mostly outside of No Man's Sky. The only thing that actually happened in No Man's Sky was one dead drop to get one code. So how do you think, what direction do you think they're going to move in? Are they just going to keep it on websites and live drops and stuff? Or do you think we'll finally get more of it relating to No Man's Sky? Because right now there's really not much of anything other than them kind of hinting at simulated worlds and AI and everything. They're really, the Atlas Foundation, nothing in phase 1 actually used the words No Man's Sky. We found the one code for the coordinates in No Man's Sky, but they've never actually said No Man's Sky. They've never mentioned it. I mean, do you think No Man's Sky is going to become involved at some point, or is this? Go ahead.
I'm thinking that phase 2 is going to be a half and half, kind of half ARG, possibly half explore and discover, maybe possible location. But as moving on to the second phase, it could be equal, both parts equal, part ARG, part involvement with No Man's Sky.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, but currently, unless they update the game, they're kind of limited to what they can do. They did one communication station with a code in it, and communication stations and bases are the only things that you can put on the game, other than maybe naming a star system or something. So they could like embed codes or secrets in like names of things on a planet or star system, or they could use communication stations, or they could build a base and have message modules on the base with like codes or something. But unless, I mean, if that's all they're going to do, I don't know if that will be too impressive. But so what I'm wondering is, do you think that they'll go ahead and do some kind of update to the game as a part of it in phase 2 or phase 3?
To answer that question, in my own thought, my own theory, I think that phase 3 is going to be the update coming out, but yet we still have everything to deal with the ARG, like the glyphs. I really think at one point or another, phase 2 has to deal with ARG in game. As to how they would do it without an update, I think, like you said, the comm balls and the bases could be a possible way of leading us to either a location or a system. But as to how they're gonna do it, if that is how they're gonna do it, I would want to say it would be based on a location, but as to how they would go about, like what the message would be, like the first comm ball, could possibly be decoded to go to like another Waking Titan site. Maybe we are done with Waking Titan, and phase 2 is like Waking Titan 2, to where instead of being a big hex with triangles that you put passcodes in, maybe there's certain things in the game, if they do come out with another website like Waking Titan, maybe there's something in the game that you need to go either discover, like a certain tree, or I mean, it's a lot of speculation, because we're what, 4 or 5 days away, 6 days away. I mean, so it's really kind of hard to gauge what they could have us do. But as far as possibilities, they are limited. I do agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really kind of hard to think about that part.
Yeah. This is what I'm guessing that they're going to do. I may be like getting my hopes up and hoping too much. What I think they're going to do in phase 2, of course, I wish that they'd just go ahead and do the whole update in phase 2, but that's probably hoping for too much. And one of the reasons people don't think that the update's ready yet is because in the last 2 updates, we saw a lot of Steam internal updates on the Steam app that let us know that they were like
actively
downloading and testing and bug fixing to get ready for an update. But there's still, as of now, it's still been 3 months since the last time they did anything on their Steam servers that we can see. Now, it's possible they may have a way of hiding it so that we can't see what they're doing, and maybe they are doing something, or they're just working on their servers at Hello Games. But anyway, that leads me to think that they're probably not ready for like a really big update yet. But what I'm hoping they'll do is they'll do like a really small update for phase 2 and possibly add what we really need in order for people to participate in an in-game ARG is we need a navigation system. Currently, it's very difficult. You have to use the app that some guy made on GitHub in order to navigate the galaxy. For them to make an ARG in the game where we have to go to find more communication stations or find a base or a star with a special name, for them to do that wouldn't be really fair because there are actually very few players that know how to navigate. A new player, it's very difficult for them to learn how to navigate to the Galactic Hub or to anywhere in the Euclid Galaxy without, having a lot of experience using the app and having the warp drives and so on and so forth. So what I'm hoping they'll do is they'll do a small update for phase 2 that will just give us a galaxy overview map that will allow us to maybe put in coordinates so that we can search for and head for certain places in the galaxy. That way a lot more players would be able to participate in finding whatever they need to find for phase 2. But obviously I don't know that for sure, and I don't want to claim that that's for sure what's going to happen, but it would be really nice if they would kind of give us a little something to help us do something
along our way.
Do something in game with the ARG, because if they just do the whole ARG all the way to the end before doing any update, I think that's going to be really a missed opportunity, and I think there's going to be a lot of people involved that will kind of lose interest, because already there's people saying just give us the update already, and they've kind of been saying that the whole time Waking Titan's been going on. Obviously some people like myself and you are really interested in Waking Titan, but other No Man's Sky fans would rather just go ahead and have an update. So I hope that their plan is to give us some kind of update or tools in the game that will kind of help us connect the two together. So
anyway, and I think that makes a lot of sense too. I mean, if you honestly sit there and think about it, like you said, we don't have a good way of navigation other than one, going to the Pilgrim Star app or opening up that galaxy map and just heading out into No Man's Sky. I mean, that makes a lot of sense for them to give us tools to work with, because that could play into phase 3 if phase 3 say when phase 3 comes out, say the update comes out with phase 3, but before phase 2 is over, they give us a little update, some tools to work with, to either navigate or to go somewhere and either find a comm ball or something. But no, that to me makes a lot of sense, because I don't see any other option without an update to do something like that. And I don't think people's interest, the morale of everybody right now is kind of like, yes, we want the update. Some people care about the ARG like me and you. Like I'm all over it. I've been stuck on a computer for weeks now. But some people, I think they don't have that luxury to have a system and a computer. So for them, they're just like, I'm addicted to this game. I can't be a part of the ARG. Just give me the update. But now if you think about phase 3, because we don't know when it could happen. We know phase 2 is going to start July 21st. But there has to be, at one point in time, there's going to have to be an integration of the ARG and the game together, something to do together, exploring, going somewhere, or possibly even meeting, getting the coordinates to go see the 4th race, if the speculation on the 4th race is true, is a real fact come to be.
And as far as phase 3 goes, of course, we have the word portal that was in the cassette tapes at the beginning when the ARG first started. I think what phase 3 will be, because before the game came out, I believe Sean Murray said something like opening portals was going to be like some kind of community puzzle that people were going to have to figure out in order to use them. And until now, you know, there's been a lot of people thinking that was something currently in the game, that there was some way to unlock the portals, but there hasn't been any progress in actually doing that. So I think that's probably what phase 3 will be we find out, like, they'll do an update, but portals will still be locked, and we're going to have to work together to solve the puzzles and finally get portals unlocked. So that's what I think phase 3 is going to be. That's just my prediction.
Definitely, and that's more of a draw to the game.
Yep.
Because the community and everybody that loves this game, we're all going to have to band together. We're all going to have to rely on one another, which that is awesome for not only No Man's Sky, any game that can do that, to bring people together the way they have, regardless if you're good on computers or you're just on console, you feel the sense of belonging that I've never really felt with any other game, any other involvement like this.
Yep. So, you viewers out there, I want you to check out Seroka4You's YouTube channel. He's got some pretty neat videos about Waking Titan and other things about No Man's Sky. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Seroka?
My last few videos have all kind of been an improv towards the Atlas Citizen Science Division, but one of the things that stuck out to me, and Mac, I'm going to be sharing this with you for the first time today, and anybody that wants to go check this site out, I have this weird suspicion that Huge Inc. is part of our ARG, and the only reason I say this is because the way the setup of Super Lumina, Atlas, any of the ARG sites that we've been given, it's set up the same way. And the weirdest part about it all is Huge is supposed to be a marketing company for very profound, pronounced, like they've got Audi on there, they've got Nike. But one of the things that strikes me as odd is this company has taken pictures from a phone off a computer. You know, like you use your phone and take a picture off your computer screen. And the way they represent themselves, it's not professional at all for Audi, for Nike, for TD Ameritrade. I mean, there's all these different little pictures on the beginning. And the weird thing about this is, when I was looking up definitions for distributed intelligence, artificial personality echo, which is a real thing, believe it or not.
Whoa.
Yes, it blew me out of the water. It has a lot to deal with Alexa, Siri, and them being somewhat a person, but not a real entity. Now, when I had looked the artificial personality echoes up, I had come across an article written by Huge Inc., and the only thing that caught my eye in the text of this article was pink magenta text, other than normal black text. And I happened to come across, it was an article written by, let me see here. This article was written by Melinda Balanks, I believe her name is. And she looks very similar to Elizabeth Lathan, if I'm pronouncing that right. But her article is on Siri and Alexa taking over the world. And in the article, she goes to talk about echoes and it's very deep.
Wow. So it sounds like you're...
Go ahead.
Well, it sounds like you're finding a lot of interesting information that your viewers will probably want to check out. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. So I want your viewers to check out. So if you'll be doing any videos about that info, then they can check that out.
Right. Okay.
If that's all right. Thank you all for watching. Please check out Seroka4You's channel. and we'll catch you in our future videos.